The Stack. People, Business, Technology. With Dan Tomaszewski of Everything MSP.
Hello, everybody. Dan Tomaszewski here. Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful day, and I am here with my good friend, Pete Busam. Pete is with Equilibrium Consulting. How you doing today, Pete?
I'm doing well, Dan. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. It's a great day. I'm looking forward to a really solid week, and I'm here talking about one of the things that I love the most, and that is marketing. I grew up as an MSP, very much in the IT world, but my background is sales and marketing, and so anytime I can talk about marketing, but then add in the technology world, it's just a great synergistic aspect there. So love having this conversation with you today.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, absolutely. So when I think of back to my early days as an MSP back in the early 2000s, 2005-ish, 2006, for me, it was a little bit easier just being that my background was sales and marketing. And, so I was able to do a lot of the development of, the website and sales collateral material and all that myself. However, I do know that, that's not the case for many MSPs because their background and their passion is strictly in the technology world. So it kind of puts them at, I don't want to say a disadvantage because, when it comes to success, it doesn't necessarily, it's not all about what you know, but it's about what you can do and seek out the right solutions and the right tools to be able to make things happen. And so I think when it comes to the world of marketing, many MSPs know they want to do better. Too often they're stuck in the business. They're not, able to do a lot of those marketing components, but they know that is critical for them to be successful. I know I'm preaching to the choir here to you, but I mean, it's got to be what you're seeing day in, day out, and what you've seen in your career, not only on the marketing side, but as a former MSP.
So, when I was an MSP, I came in just like many did. I started out very technical, and I was not, very operationally minded. I knew that I needed process, I knew that I needed sales, and I knew that I needed marketing, but I also had to afford it. And I needed to be able to give my time to it, which was the hardest part about growing the business was, how do I give my time to these segments because I was working so much in the business doing the technical side of the work, right? So, it's almost like the opposite of where you came in
Yeah.
and the background that you had, right? I had no background in sales and marketing, but give me a screwdriver and I'd figure out anything and like any other tech brute force my way through it and get it fixed, right?
Right.
But as time went on, I grew up and process went in place and I had salespeople and I realized I had salespeople sitting without anything. And I
Mm.
still wasn't large enough to afford a fully outsourced model, which we provide, but it still was out of the realm. So as I left the MSP business and I started crafting, and I'm going back 15 years now when Equilibrium started. Um, we sold our MSP and I came in and started this business back in 2008 and really stepped foot full time in 2009 into really pushing it forward.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and I think back even before my MSP days, I was doing what most do in the IT space is focus on residential, small business, all non-managed type of clients. And one of the things that I always found that was, I always viewed it as a compliment is people would ask a lot, "Are you a franchise?" And at first I was a little thrown off, and And then eventually they're like, well, we're looking at your branding. You look like you're, a national organization. And, and it was at that time that got me thinking a lot about, we want to have that look of being like a national organization, but still have that local feel, because people want that, that local support. They want to know that you're part of their community. And but the thing is that branding, that polished, that pretty look is what captures their attention. And so what are your thoughts in that area, and what you've seen, and and why you've gone down this route to be able to help MSPs have that national look, but that local feel?
Yeah. So, we really see it, and being just like you felt and I felt growing up in the business, pardon me, was I would sit and I would say, what can I do to attract these other clients? I was serving that 5 to 15, 5 to 20, but I really wanted to go upstream. And we hear it all the time from MSPs, whether we're out at a show or some function. We really want to get up where we're at the 25 to 50, because that's where, we can make the money and we can really excel and
Yeah.
automate, etc. But they didn't have the resources for marketing to do it. And again, the highest commodity for most of these owners or owner-led models was time. They couldn't
Mm,
commit time to doing these things, investigating tools, creating graphics, writing content, updating websites, writing blogs. So we came up with a package. But what we realized, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in a little bit, is the package isn't right for that part of where they are operationally in their model. Their what I call their sales and marketing maturity model. They're still out on that first rung, trying to push up into rung 2 through 5, right?
right.
And get into some repeatable processes. So, what we tried to do is say, what do they need from a package perspective that they can just grab and go and do with a little bit of help? um, Budget their time and get these higher end professionally produced components um, that give them the look and feel that they are looking for to compete at that 25 to 50 person prospect level, right, in their client profile that they want to move to, versus
Yeah.
just attracting the smaller ones. So, what we looked at was we built out our assets, and we're now making them available in packages that they can just buy online in like a self-service model, and then have someone behind them to back them up if they need additional support. But it gives them the look and feel, and it still lets them focus on all the local things. They still have to go to chamber events per se, or local events, right? Because like you said, people buy from people they know, and people buy from people they like and local. So
Right.
that feel good allows them to focus on the things that they do very well, and source the other pieces that they're ready for as needed, and kind of put it in a model that they can almost set and forget. So
Yeah, and that, and I think that's one of the critical things. A couple points that you mentioned is, you know, doing what they do well. And that is really what we're doing as MSPs for our clients, right? We are their IT department. We provide proactive technology management support. That's what's in our wheelhouse. That's where we excel and shine. And we have to understand that, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you have some type of a desktop publishing application on your computer doesn't mean that that is going to be your wheelhouse where you're going to do things yourself. There's a point where you say, I want to leverage the support and talent of others, just like our clients are leveraging our talent and support. And
mhm.
but you kind of have the best of both worlds of what you're offering, because you have the self-serve component that you talked about, being able to buy the tools and being able to implement on yourself. But you also have that ability where if you need some more advanced support, you have more of that one-off opportunity to be able to get some full serve direction from you and pick up the phone and be able to get that consultative support, right?
Yep. Yep. And that's the beauty of it. Go to a website and buy what you need, or and then as you grow or you run into it or you have some questions, you have some experts that are willing to do it. And we're gonna add components in there that we're doing monthly marketing webinars, right? They're meant to educate. So we're really feeling that the owner-led models, and in a very positive way, they need help. And to do that, we need to educate, right? We need to not sell,
Yeah.
but we can provide tools that as they learn and as they grow in their sales and marketing maturity, they have the ability to continue to consume the items that they need to grow that stack of marketing and feed their sales teams a little bit better. And that's
Yeah.
that's the good part. And I never had that as an MSP. I mean, I can't imagine like what I could have done if I had that tool set available, because I consider it a tool set, right? You've got,
Right.
like you said, the best of both worlds. You have something you can just go and buy, and you're behind you have a team of experts that you could pick up the phone and query some questions or get some advice. So,
Yeah, and like you mentioned, as you're looking to move up, a rung as far as the size of client for managed services, the key is you have to you've got to have the right look. People will go to your website, they'll take a look at your sales collateral material, and they will immediately have an impression, that first impression of whether you're capable of providing support to their organization or not. And
mhm.
so having the right materials is so critical. And essentially, if you don't have those right materials, it's just going to hold you back, right? It's going to keep you from getting those larger accounts.
Yep. And so, we use terms like brand and demand, right? And everybody uses brand and demand, and they just throw words around. And the
Yeah,
expectations, I think the expectations, Dan, is when you're starting out, you're really brand marketing. Like, do people know
right.
you? When you throw your name out there, you wear your shirt, somebody looks at your logo, have they ever seen it before? Is there, any recognition to it? And so, when you're starting out, you have to really work on branding. And so to get to those other accounts, because the more that you brand, the more your name and your content is consumed by others instead of just yourself, right? And then
Right.
as you get to that certain point, then you make a shift to demand, and your marketing style actually changes. And that's when you need more help. You need a dedicated person or an outsourced team, right? So you shift, you start with that brand marketing, and then you go into the demand side. And at some point, you got a little bit of both. It's a nice blend, and you're still building brand while you're driving demand. And that's when your engine is really, really working, and you've gotten up into where you want to be, and you're really seeing some growth. I won't say hyper growth, but you're seeing
Sure.
some growth that's consistent and repeatable, right? Because now
Right.
you've operationally gotten to something that's a repeatable and sustainable model.
Yeah, and it all they're stepping stones. Each as you continue to keep that branding out there, um, each thing you do builds upon the next thing, and people recognize that and they see that, and so for people that you never had attracted before, you start to capture their attention, you start to catch their interest, and they start to seek you out. And I like the fact that you said it's not hyper growth, because there isn't a magic wand, but you have to put the pieces in place, and it will happen through that hard work and that effort and the consistency, because it's not a done in one. It's not a try something once and then hope for the best. You have to continue to put those efforts in place, right?
Yep. Fell fast, fell forward. It's one of my favorite sayings,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Learn and do, and pull your Band-Aid off and keep going, because some
Right.
of them hurt. Some of them hurt. So,
Right.
but as long as you learn and you keep moving forward, and hey, the peer community is out there today to really help each other, and that was another thing that we really didn't have. Was we didn't have a peer community really until like later in the 2000s, getting into the teens, right? So way back when I, had to sludge up 3 hills to get to school, um,
Yeah.
we just didn't have it. There was no the competitive landscape was is we would see each other and we would exchange niceties, but we were competitors, period, and we weren't going to exchange lessons learned or so much peer sharing that happens now. So
Right.
uh, big big difference. So
Yeah,
but
definitely. So, essentially, as an MSP, you're looking to start to do some brand building. Um, you go directly to your site. You can take a look at your offerings. You can just buy it right there. So I don't need to reach out to you
mhm.
necessarily to say, tell me about this unless I want to learn more. But it's right there on the website, and I can just make a purchase today.
Yep. Yep, we've just added some products in there. You can buy some social media packages, and you can buy a website package. And we're going to add our website visitor program, our sync program from ConnectWise to email platforms like Constant Contact and Mailchimp, so you can move your data without using spreadsheets. And we're going to be
Nice.
adding some blogs and stuff. There's a roadmap in the website there in the FAQ section. So
Okay.
you can look at all of that right there. It's in there. So
That's awesome.
not bad.
We'll throw
So
in the comments link for any of our audience to be able to just click on and get to be able to go right to your site and get more information. And just kind
great.
of any parting words here, anything you want to share with our audience as we wrap things up.
I tell everybody to get started. Set realistic expectations and get started. Get some marketing moving. Start social media is a great way to dip your toes and start working, then into maybe some email. But no one piece is going to do what you think, which is if I do social media, my doors are going to swing right open with leads coming through the door. It's the
Right.
combination of all the different components as you grow and add. And that's what we aim to do and provide through this new storefront that we're putting out there, is giving you the ability to add the components as you're ready to stack them and grow and take a wider, more holistic approach and strategically roll out. But get on that railroad track, start going down it, stoke your locomotive,
Yeah.
and you'll start to see returns if you're doing the things that you should be doing. And you know, I'm easy to find on LinkedIn. I'm easy to find through the website. Um, I'm pretty much all over the place. So I'm always happy to. You can go on our website and book time. So I always say, I'd rather do a little education and make some good friends, and eventually when the time is right, if you buy
Yeah.
from me, that's great. But if I helped you a little bit, then it's just like anything else, referrals, the power of referrals. So,
Absolutely.
but get
Pete,
started. That's my word. Get
yes.
started.
Yes, because the step you don't take today, someone else might, and they might take a step further than you. So now is the time. So, uh, Pete Busam, Equilibrium Consulting, thank you so much for your time today. As we mentioned, marketing is such a key area that so many MSPs are dying for solutions to make their lives better, to be able to help drive their businesses forward. And you guys have pulled together a great solution for them. Thank you so much for that. And everybody, thank you for being here, listening to us. and we will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for listening to The Stack.